Chapter 6. House of Saul and House of David at War. David inquired of the Lord whether he should go up to any of the cities of Judah, and the Lord said for him to go up. David asked the Lord to what city should he go, and the Lord said for him to go to Hebron. David went to Hebron, and his wives Ahinoam and Abigail went with him. The men who were with him, every man with his household, all dwelt in the cities of Hebron. Hebron in the ancient days of Moses' time was called Kirjath Arba, Genesis 23 verse 2, meaning a town of 4 cities. Hebron was located 20 miles south of Jerusalem. David's army at Hebron was the numbers of the divisions that were equipped for war, and they came to David to turn over the kingdom of Saul to him, according to the word of the Lord. They were the sons of Judah bearing shield and spear, 6,800 armed for war. Of the sons of Simeon, mighty men of valor fit for war, 7,100. There were the sons of Levi, 4,600, in Jehoiada, the leader of the Aaronites, and with him 3,700 men. There were Zadok, a young man, a valiant warrior, and from his father's house 22 captains. There were the sons of Benjamin, relatives of Saul, 3,000. Until then the greatest part of them had remained loyal to the house of Saul. There were the sons of Ephraim 20,800, mighty men of valor, famous men throughout their father's house. Of the half-tribe of Manasseh 18,000, who were designated by name to come and make David king. There were the sons of Issachar who had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. Their chiefs were 200, and all their brethren were at their command. There was Zebulun with 50,000 who went out to battle, expert in war with all weapons of war, stout-hearted men who could keep ranks. Naphtali had 1,000 captains, and with them 37,000 with shield and spear. There was Asher, those who could go out to war, able to keep battle formation, 40,000. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, from the other side of the Jordan, 120,000 armed for battle with every kind of weapon of war. All these men of war, who could keep ranks, came to Hebron with a loyal heart, to make David king over all Israel, and all the rest of Israel were on one mind to make David king, and they were there with David 3 days, eating and drinking, for their brethren had prepared for them. Moreover, those who were near to them, from as far away as Issachar and Zebulun and Naphtali, were bringing food on donkeys and camels, on mules and oxen, provisions of flour and cakes of figs and cakes of raisins, wine and oil and oxen and sheep abundantly, for there was joy in Israel. 1 Chronicles 12 verses 23 to 40. The men of Judah came there and anointed David king over the house of Judah. David was told that the men of Jabesh Gilead were the ones who provided Saul and Jonathan a proper burial. Therefore, David sent messengers to the men of Jabesh Gilead, saying, "You are blessed of the Lord, for you have shown this kindness to your Lord, to Saul, and have buried him. Now may the Lord show kindness and truth to you. I also will repay you this kindness, because you have done this thing. Now therefore, let your hand be strengthened, and be valiant, for your master Saul is dead, and also the house of Judah has anointed me king over them." 2 Samuel 2 verses 1 to 7. Abner, the commander of Saul's army, took Ishbosheth the son of Saul and brought him over to Mahanaim, the capital of Gilead. This was the same location named by Jacob when the angels of God had surrounded his camp. Genesis 32 verse 2. Abner and the servants of Ishbosheth went out from Mahanaim to Gibeon. Joab and the servants of David went out to meet them by the pool of Gibeon. They sat down, one on one side and the other on the other side of the pool. Then Abner said to Joab, "Let the young men now arise and compete before us." And Joab repeated, "Let them arise." To determine who would prevail, it was a fight to the finish. It was a draw. Therefore, a feud broke out between the family of David and the family of Saul. They got up and went over by number, 12 from Benjamin, followers of Ishbosheth, and 12 from the servants of David. Each one grasped his opponent by the head and thrust his sword in his opponent's side, so they fell down together. There was a very fierce battle that day, and Abner and the men of Israel were beaten before the servants of David. 2 Samuel 2 verses 12 to 17. Asahel pursued Abner, and in going, he did not turn to the right hand or to the left from following Abner. Abner looked behind him and asked, "Are you Asahel?" Asahel answered, "I am." Asahel was not wearing armor, therefore Abner said to him, "Turn aside to your right hand or to your left, and lay hold on one of the young men and take his armor for yourself." However, Asahel would not turn aside from following him. Abner said again to Asahel, "Turn aside from following me. Why should I strike you to the ground? How then could I face your brother Joab?" Therefore, Abner struck him in the stomach with the blunt end of the spear, so that the spear came out of his back, and he fell down there and died on the spot. So it was that as many as came to the place where Asahel fell down and died, they stood still. 2 Samuel 2 verses 18 to 23. Asahel brothers also pursued Abner. The sun was going down when they came to the hill of Ammah, which is before Giah by the road to the wilderness of Gibeon. Now the children of Benjamin gathered behind Abner and became a unit, and took their stand on top of a hill. Then Abner called to Joab and said, "Should the sword devour forever? Do you not know that it will be bitter in the latter end? How long will it be then until you tell the people to return from pursuing their brethren?" Joab said, "As God lives, unless you had spoken, surely then by morning all the people would have given up pursuing their brethren." Therefore, Joab blew a trumpet, and all the people stood still and did not pursue Israel anymore, nor did they fight anymore. Then Abner and his men went on all that night through the plain, crossed over the Jordan, and went through all Bithron, and they came to Mahanaim. Therefore, Joab returned from pursuing Abner, and when he had gathered all the people, 19 men were missing of David's servants and Asahel. However, the servants of David had struck down of Benjamin and Abner's men, 360 men who died. Then they took up Asahel and buried him in his father's tomb, which was in Bethlehem. Joab and his men went all night, and they came to Hebron at daybreak. 2 Samuel 2 verses 24 to 32. There was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David grew stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul grew weaker and weaker. The family of David. The sons of David who were born to him in Hebron were Amnon, the firstborn, by Ahinoam the Jezreelitess; the second, Daniel, by Abigail the Carmelitess; the third, Absalom the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur; the fourth, Adonijah the son of Haggith; the fifth, Shephatiah, by Abidal; the sixth, Ithream, by his wife Eglah. The 6 sons of David were born to him in Hebron. There he reigned 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem he reigned 33 years. The sons born to him in Jerusalem were Shemaiah, Shobab, Nathan, and Solomon, 4 by Bathsheba, the daughter of Ammiel. Also, there were Ibhar, Elishama, Biliada, Eliphalet, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, and Eliphalet, 9 in all. These were all the sons of David besides the sons of the concubines, and Tamar was their sister. 2 Samuel 3 verses 2 to 5, 1 Chronicles 3 verses 1 to 9. Abner joins forces with David. While there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David, Abner was strengthening his hold on the house of Saul by going into Saul's concubine, whose name was Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. Therefore Ishbosheth said to Abner, "Why have you gone into my father's concubine?" Then Abner became very angry at the words of Ishbosheth, and he said, "Am I a dog's head that belongs to Judah? Today I show loyalty to the house of Saul your father, to his brothers, and to his friends, and have not delivered you into the hand of David, and you charge me today with a fault concerning this woman?" May God do so to Abner, and more also, if I do not do for David as the Lord has sworn to him, to transfer the kingdom from the house of Saul, and set up the throne of David over Israel and over Judah, from Dan to Beersheba." Ishbosheth could not answer Abner another word, because he feared him. 2 Samuel 3 verses 6 to 11. Therefore Abner sent messengers on his behalf to David, saying, "Whose is the land?" saying also, "Make your covenant with me, and indeed my hand will be with you to bring all Israel to you." David said, "Good, I will make a covenant with you. However, one thing I require of you, you will not see my face unless you first bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when you come to see my face." Therefore David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, "Give me my wife Michal, whom I betrothed to myself for 100 foreskins of the Philistines." Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, from Paltiel the son of Laish. Then her husband went along with her to Bahurim, weeping behind her. Then Abner said to him, "Go, and return." He returned. Now Abner had communicated with the elders of Israel, saying, "In time past you were seeking for David to be king over you. Now then, do it. For the Lord has spoken of David, saying, By the hand of my servant David, I will save my people Israel from the hand of the Philistines and the hand of all their enemies." Abner also spoke in the hearing of Benjamin. Then Abner also went to speak in the hearing of David in Hebron all that seemed good to Israel and the whole house of Benjamin. Then Abner and 20 men with him came to David at Hebron. David made a feast for Abner and the men who were with him. Then Abner said to David, "I will arise and go, and gather all Israel to my lord the king, that they may make a covenant with you, and that you may reign over all that your heart desires." Therefore David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. 2 Samuel 3 verses 6 to 21. Joab murders Abner. The servants of David and Joab came from a raid and brought much spoil with them. However, Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he had gone in peace. When Joab and all the troops that were with him had come, they told Joab, saying, "Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he sent him away, and he is gone in peace." Then Joab came to the king and said, "What have you done? Look, Abner came to you. Why is it that you sent him away, and he is already gone? Surely, you realize that Abner the son of Ner came to deceive you, to know you're going out and you're coming in, and to know all that you are doing." Therefore, when Joab had gone from David's presence, he sent messengers after Abner, who brought him back from the well of Sirah. However, David did not know it. Now when Abner had returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him privately, and there stabbed him in the stomach, so that he died for the blood of Asahel his brother. Afterward, when David heard it, he announced a strong curse on the household of Joab and said, "My kingdom and I are guiltless before the Lord forever of the blood of Abner the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and on his entire father's house, and let there never fail to be in the house of Joab one who is discharged or is a leper, who leans on a staff or falls by the sword, or who lacks bread." Therefore Joab and Abishai his brother killed Abner, because he had killed their brother Asahel at Gibeon in the battle. 2 Samuel 3 verses 22 to 30. Then all the people wept over him again. When all the people came to persuade David to eat food while it was still day, David took an oath, saying, "God do so to me, and more also, if I taste bread or anything else till the sun goes down." Now all the people took note of it, and it pleased them, since whatever the king did pleased all the people. For all the people and all Israel understood that day that it had not been the king's intent to kill Abner. Then the king said to his servants, "Do you not know that a prince and a great man have fallen this day in Israel? And I am weak today, though anointed king, and these men, the sons of Zeruiah, are too harsh for me. The Lord will repay the evildoer according to his wickedness." Ishbosheth is murdered. When Ishbosheth, Saul's son, heard that Abner had died in Hebron, he lost heart, and all Israel was troubled. Ishbosheth had 2 men who were captains of troops. The name of one was Baanah and the name of the other Rechab, the sons of Rimmon the Beerothite, of the children of Benjamin. For Beeroth also was part of Benjamin, because the Beerothites fled to Gittaim and have been sojourners there until this day. Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son who was lame in his feet. He was 5 years old when the news about Saul and Jonathan came from Jezreel, and his nurse took him up and fled, and it happened, as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame. His name was Mephibosheth. Then the sons of Rimmon, Rechab and Baanah, set out and came at about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who was lying on his bed at noon. They came all the way into the house, as though to get wheat, and they stabbed Ishbosheth in the stomach. Then Rechab and Baanah his brother escaped, for when they came into the house, he lay lying on his bed in his bedroom. Then they struck him and killed him, beheaded him, and took his head, and were all night escaping through the plain. They brought the head of Ishbosheth to David at Hebron, and said to the king, Here is the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul your enemy, who sought your life, and the Lord has avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and his descendants. 2 Samuel 4 verses 1-8. This is another incident where the murderers are seeking a reward. But David answered Rechab and Baanah his brother, and said to them, As the Lord lives, who has redeemed my life from all adversity, when someone told me, saying, Look, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good news, I arrested him and had him executed in Ziklag, the one who thought I would give him a reward for his news. How much more, when wicked men has killed a righteous person in his own house on his own bed? Therefore, should I not now require his blood at your hand and remove you from the earth? Therefore, David commanded his young men to execute them, cut off their hands and feet, and hanged them by the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the tomb of Abner in Hebron. 2 Samuel 4 verses 9-12. Thank you for listening to Chapter 6 of the book The Kings of Israel from the book series It's All About Worship and To Whom You Worship by Doris N. Whaley Smith. The complete book in whole can be purchased on Amazon.com.